I will just put Francie Dick and I will. Okay. Yes, and please ask me.
It's the microphone.
The microphone. So this is already muted.
Update. And I need your Natasha. Yeah. Lucy, can you hear me? Lisa, can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes, great. Not really fast. That's better. It's me. It's me. I would like just to thank you once again to be part of this experiment, to help me in this. As I was trying to explain this morning at the conference, it is really the first step of this project that I'm starting now. It's an international project that will be implemented in different countries in the world. So far we have Sweden, Greece, Italy, Nepal, Spain in a way, thanks to Art del Caminar. And we are now looking for new partners to expand this research in different landscapes. For me, it's really precious what we are doing here, and I really thank you to follow me and to work with me, as I am trying to understand some basic coordinates that I think could work in a further process and a further research of this work. The title of this work is I Die Like a Country. It is written by Dimitris Dimitriadis, a Greek author, a living author, that wrote this text when he was very, very young, during the regime in Greece in 1978, during the dictatorship of the colonized Greece. For me, this text is an obsession. It doesn't talk exactly and specifically about that regime or that situation, political and social situation. And this is why I feel it's really like a contemporary tragedy. It addresses history as a system of human expression. And this is why, for me, it's almost like a science fiction text. And this is how I could make this connection with landscape and with the space, with the dimension of the spatial dimension. So this is how I could really see these two elementary dimensions, space and time, finally merge. As looking through landscape, we can really read our history and we can read our action on this earth, to each other, that we do to each other, to the planet, and how this is layering through the years, through the cycles, historical cycle, ages. So this is the big theme we are dwelling, let's say, since some time. And I'm collaborating with a Greek architect, Vasilis, Mavrianos, a PhD doctorate in Pappas at the University of Pappas. And the collaboration with this architect is really important, as we are really trying to read and to map what we call the invisible architectures that are the ones that we build with our memories, our habits, our traditions, culture, actions. It's not here, it could not come, but his insights are very valuable. Anyway, in order to experiment accordingly and really to start these first steps, it's a metaphor, I think it's pretty good to use. I think the best way is to do this work with some conditions that I will need to verify in the next steps of the research. But for today, I have 3 conditions that I would like to give you for this walk. The first condition is that this walk is a silent walk. So please, I invite you to do this walk in silence, as this specific status really changed our our view, our perspectives of what's happening around us, and our our openness to the inputs that we receive from inside and from outside. The second condition is that please follow me, allowing at least 5 steps distance. So follow me in distance. Don't be next to me. Don't ever come close to me. This has to do with perspectives as well. So the third condition is this. When I do this, I'm asking the group to stop wherever you are. I will try not to make you stop in the middle of the road, so I will try to be safe for you. But please also have an eye on the surroundings and the environment that we are. Have a look around. So this is the third condition, please stop. It can happen that during the walk, at certain points, I can ask you, I can call you. So whenever you hear your name, if you want, please, only that person is invited to come to me. Thank you.
Nothing is moving. Nothing is moving.
That year, no woman conceived. And this continued in the following years until a generation was composed with no new generation coming into being. Except for a few stormy reactions against this disastrous extinction, much later on named as uterine dark age, the burning down of public buildings, the destruction of monuments and national symbols, murderous attacks on persons whom the assailants regarded responsible for the woe that had befallen them. All the other persons learned in self-restraint, curbed their despair, and confined to private places their outbursts of panic, which led them to rip their pillows with their teeth at night, or to write frantic and incoherent letters to God. They stood for hours, motionless and expressionless, humming old, nostalgic songs, biting their nails to the bone like maniacs, or deeply slashing their bodies' private and sensitive parts till sufficient blood was poured to satisfy the genetic need of human sacrifice or self-punishment.
pause. Because the war, with brief suspensions of misleading ceasefire, had lasted for over 1,000 years. And one day, when the simultaneous suicide of two generals became known, one of them in fact right in front of his troops during the morning review, no one doubted anymore that the enemy would cross the border any time now, thus putting an end to a situation that had held an entire population in suspense, overwhelmed by the texture of its very history and no longer in a position to withstand the pressing commands of an instinctive egocentricity and a frenetic but conscious contempt for whatever was instrumental in the nation's survival. And in fact, this meant, once and for all, that the concept of nationhood was lost forever.
Desertion were so many on both fronts, so many cases of renegades resolved not to sacrifice even a drop of their blood, not even a second of their life for the motherland. So that after the first wonder, protest and anger of the civilian population, that actually at heart felt an unspeakable cheerfulness in view of this moral breakdown, it all ended in a joke. In effect, it was at this time that the transition from one historical cycle to another took place, and irreversibly, with laughter, whoever hasn't seen people dying in the streets, bashed by an invisible hand, cannot possibly realize what it means and what it is for a country to die. But even when facing such an expansive death as that of an entire nation, life cannot resist. It is exhausted. What else is paradise? At least to those who experience consciously deceit and material magnetism. But the transition of the soul from language's speechlessness to the vibrant, earthy, incomprehensibly and ineffable kingdom of words in life. Words are immortality. The kingdom of heaven is a loose speaking soul. The occupation did indeed last ages. As long as was needed to erase the country's traditional borders and to incorporate it into the big cosmic order now ruling over the whole planet. as pre-decided, language eventually ceased to be, and it started to exist as a relic, a distillation of ancient times, a solid and labyrinthic mass, because it enumerates an incalculable number of pages girdled by time's infrangible circle that shield them in a light of super-terrestrial serenity. In these pages, it is described the barrenness of women that particular year. They are the pages of a polyphonic chapter entitled Testimonies of the Years of the Great Defeat, containing various documents, letters, diaries, first-hand or second-hand eyewitness accounts, literary or would-be literary descriptions, photographs, statistics, and so on and so on. And all these documents, they narrate that historical period that, along with its horror, entered the realm of pitiless imagination. And even though totally unexplored, no one still dares to explain it scientifically. We are happy that it is finished. It is finished convincingly enough to satisfy, according to the historians, the requirements of science, like a death that comes to confirm its exact prediction. And this is enough for those who see in humanity a cosmic phenomenon which produces cycles after cycles, 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 cycles after cycles after cycles, cycles in eternity, cycles that, when they close, justify their producer, since they become the supreme expression of his purpose on earth. And within these cycles, as we know, individual screams are not audible.